point here is that New South Wales managed to actually deliver 74% of the vaccinations it's been allocated. Other states only 30%, 22% in Queensland. What are the difficulties in actually rolling out the vaccine, actually getting the jab into people's arms once you have the doses?
Well, so far, the main vaccine we've got, or the only vaccine we've got, is the Pfizer one, which has got this ultra cold necessity of -70, and it's got to be done in hubs. So there's a logistic difficulty of getting people there and delivering it effectively. And I guess it goes to nursing homes as well. But there's the logistics of doing it. And I guess that hiccup with a couple of people being overdosed in Queensland recently has meant there was a week of vaccine that wasn't given until that got sorted out. So, you know, these things happen. But the important thing is there is vaccine coming. It's not being wasted as far as I can see. It has got a life of, you know, a while before we can give it. We'll get the processes in place, and then I think all these percentages will increase because there's a huge demand for these vaccines, much more than we've got vaccines available. And when the AstraZeneca becomes available, which has recently arrived, we'll go through the testing at TGA, that will increase the ability to deliver it because that one doesn't require the same ultra-cold chain for storage, so more readily available to be given in more places. But at the end, what we need is before winter, so June, July, all the at-risk people vaccinated plus the frontline workers, because I think next winter is our next big risk time, because winter, these viruses spread more readily. But we should be in a good position by then, and I would think the vast majority of people, which is millions of people who need to be vaccinated, will well and truly be vaccinated by then.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a media and political fascination on the delay with the vaccine. I suppose that's understandable. I do find it interesting that Victoria, which has had so many problems with the virus, has only got 30% compared to 74% in New South Wales. But the key point you mentioned is we do have time. And at the moment, we don't have community transmission in Australia. We've been going for weeks without community transmission. So the need is not as desperate. Are people actually physically turning up in doctors' surgeries and the like, saying they want the vaccine? You say that there's this enormous demand. Are people basically rattling the cage and say they want to get this vaccine?
Well, I can't answer that question about GP surgeries because I'm not there, but I presume a lot of people have been asking their GPs and doctors about the vaccine. I've had questions sent to me or given to me by lots of people I know as well. But essentially, there's a planned rollout that put the highest risk people at the top and gradually goes down, which I think is eminently sensible from the federal government, that it's been done in conjunction with the states and territories. And the real luxury we have, yes, we've had outbreaks in Australia, but all of them have been brought under control. We don't have unbridled transmission here like Europe, the US, other places have had. So while we need to get this vaccine out, we also have the luxury of being able to do it in a way that minimises trauma, minimises risk, minimises emotional stress about it. The big goal, in my view, is that we've got to get nearly everybody over the age of 70 vaccinated before winter starts, plus the frontline healthcare workers and the frontline quarantine workers, because they're the ones most likely to come in contact with COVID. And then on the presumption that we can keep on doing as successfully as we have the last year, the exception is Melbourne, but we've learned our lessons from a lot of the things that went wrong. We should be able to keep transmission low and therefore put us in a very good position by the time we get most of the adult population, or nearly all the adult population, vaccinated by probably October this year.
Spot on, Peter. Thanks so much for joining us again.
Thank you.
We are on track with these vaccinations. They'll be rolling out and, as you know, going into aged care homes and the like first. That's where we want them.